Hello everybody, Dr. Yang again, and this time we are going to start tiptoeing ourselves over into the analysis portion of our homework assignment. We're going to start nice and easy by looking at descriptives and frequencies. So I always start in this data view page, I think because when I was trained in stats, this is where I started, but you can start from the variable view if you like, but all of my videos will start from here. So you navigate over to this page and then you're going to click Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Descriptives, and then you click. So when you're looking at the descriptives question, you will see that there's a question about age, there's a question about how folks prefer to get their courses, and how many hours they are studying. So we click on these, we move them over, okay? So in my description, you're going to see we're going to move them from the left-hand box with all of the variables into the right-hand box for the variables that we are interested in. So you just toggle them back and forth using this little arrow in the middle. And then we're going to hit OK. And so what it's going to tell us, the descriptives, is that for each of these variables, well, I guess for the first two variables, there were 89 respondents. The minimum was 1 and the maximum was 8. So remember, if we come back over to that variable view, here, we'll move this out of the way for a second. If we come over here to the variable view and we look at age, remember the minimum was 1 of a code for 20 to 24 and the maximum was 8 for 55 plus. We also learned that the average age for participants in our study is 2.5393. Same thing here. For course delivery, we saw the options between 1 and 4, and those codes were like this: prefer classes in person, prefer classes online, both, and I have no preference, which is informative. It's helpful. But we also find that we are given an average for this one. And this isn't as helpful because they're coded values. But essentially what it's saying is that we are leaning more towards this option. But it's not super informative. Same thing with the mean of age. It's not super informative. And then we have how many hours per week do you study for this class? Between 0 and 20 with a mean of 5. So if I were to ask you, what is the mean, then that would be a good place for you to find it. But chances are I'm going to ask you more in-depth questions, like what percentage of respondents reported their age over 40, or how many students prefer to take their courses on campus. And so this option won't quite get you there. So next we want to take a look at our frequencies to see if that information will be helpful. So we come back up here to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Frequencies. So we see that the variables are already pulled over here. We can click on the Statistics column. So we want our measures of central tendency, which is our mean, median, and mode. Minimum and maximum might be helpful, I don't know. But so we're going to do that, and we hit Continue. Next, we're going to hit OK. So then we get our next output. So what we're looking at here, this is the same sort of descriptive information that was in the last chart, just presented a little bit differently. But now we can see some breakdowns, okay? So what we're looking at in this table is for age of the people, for 20 to 24, roughly 31 people said that they were between the ages of 20 and 24, which accounts for 34.8% of our sample. We want to make sure that we use the valid percent. In this case, there's no difference, but sometimes there is a difference. So you make sure you want to use this. So if I were to ask you a question, say, what percentage of respondents reported their age 40 and over, we got to do a little finagling, right? Because there's not a block here that says 40 plus. So we can take this and this and this and this and add them together just on our own. Get a little piece of scratch paper. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12.4, 13, 14.6. So that's something important. And we look at the percentage of folks who are 40 and over. We can also look at how many students prefer to take their courses on campus or in person. So we look to see here These are the folks who prefer to take it online. So there was 26, which is 29.2% of our sample. I might also ask you a question like, what are the mean, median, and mode for something like study hours? And so we come back up to this first chart and we look at study hours. So we see the mean, the median, and the mode. So we would just record that information if that was what was being asked of us for a homework assignment. Hopefully this was helpful. As always, if you have more questions, just shoot me an email and I will be more than happy to walk you through it. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.